What is up, Grandstand Bettors? It is Tuesday, December 27th. Welcome into our weekly sports show. Glad to have anybody in the chat that's there. Smash that like button. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. But hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to this week's six-pack parlay for Tuesday, December 27th. And if you have any questions about anything on today's slate or anything you're looking at here, before any games get underway at the 7 p.m. Eastern time, hey, please in the chat, let us know what you're looking at, and we'll give you our opinion. That's what we're here for. And this is just kind of supposed to be for entertainment purposes. Have a little bit of fun each and every week with you, and maybe hit a parlay here and there. We're coming off an awful week, 1-5 last week. That was horrible. It was the reciprocal of the week before where we went 1-5. So not great last week, but let's look to turn it around and let's dive into our first play of our six-pack parlay, and we're going to start with a prop bet here, guys, in the NBA. Now, we're going to look at the Lakers and the Magic. This one is in the 7 p.m. Eastern time slot. Both of these teams, they have been horrible on the season, both just at 13 wins, seen about 3 games back of that wild card spot as Orlando and LA in each of their conferences. But the Magic have been playing great in the last couple of weeks. In this matchup, though, we're going to take a look at the Lakers and Russell Westbrook. Now, the Lakers, for most of the season, they have been having injury problems at the moment. Tonight, Davis is out. Anderson is out again. So those two are sitting down. Schroeder and James, I believe they are good to go tonight. But they have been dealing with some foot and ankle soreness. Now, the healthiest person on this team, which is crazy, is Russell Westbrook at the moment. And although he's not really seen more than 30 minutes per game much this season, he's been extremely efficient. He's averaging 7.5 rebounds, 8 assists per game in the month of December, and in 4 of the last 5 games, he's put up over 15 points. Now, Westbrook still is not going to get the start, as it does look like Schroeder is good to go. But again, Westbrook has been fantastic, coming off the bench and efficient, averaging around 27 minutes per game on the season. Now, with Orlando being one of the hottest teams in the NBA at the moment, winning 8 out of their last 10, and with the Lakers struggling to find wins coming off just having played on Christmas Day on the road, there's a decent chance that Orlando takes control of this game and Westbrook actually logs more than 30 minutes in this matchup, with Westbrook filling up both probably the assist and rebound stats on the stat sheet. We think, as my cat is going to join me, and he's going to give us, what is our first pick parlay? Come on, tell us. Well, it's going to be Russell Westbrook over 27.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. That's what we're going with tonight with Russell Westbrook. Honestly, I want to back Orlando in this situation. I really do. But anytime LeBron is good to go and Russell's in the lineup, they are a scrappy team, the Lakers. They're just not good enough or bad enough, in my opinion, to go against them. So I do like that we got Westbrook in a situation where he's done a great job averaging points and rebounds. Assists and rebounds here in the month of December. I do think he puts up enough points to get us over. So again, our first play of our six-pack parlay is Russell Westbrook over 27.5 PRAs. Now, we are going to stick with the NBA for one more tonight and look at the Atlanta Hawks and the Indiana Pacers. They tip off in just about an hour's time at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We do expect both of these teams to be fighting for playoff spots this season. They are both coming into this matchup with 17 wins on the season. And both of these teams have struggled in the last couple of weeks, but the Hawks are coming off a nice win against the Pistons last week. But come on, that's not really saying much. The Pistons are the worst team in the NBA at the moment. These two teams, the Hawks and the Pacers, they are both in the top half of the league in points per game. But the Pacers' field goal percentage is 6th worst in the NBA. Now, what's interesting here, though, is the Pacers, despite shooting 45% overall from the field, are actually a top 10 team shooting threes. That's kind of weird, right? The Pacers are one of the worst teams making buckets around the rim, which would also correlate to them not being a better rebounding team as well, as they are in the bottom of the league. Indiana also coming off a game last night in which they were blown out by the Pelicans. It's kind of an interesting situation here. The Hawks, they've had a little bit more of a rest. So you kind of have to look at this line and wonder, why are the Hawks only a 1.5-point favorite? Well, they do have a couple of injuries at the moment. Capella's still out. Hunter, game time decision. In fact, give me a moment. Let me go look and see if Hunter is available, if any news came out about him. Al, what's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're having a good day. I don't see Hunter is out. So Hunter is out in this game. I just saw that update. So Hunter is going to be out in this game. But the Hawks, they have had 3 days off. So you would think that they're going to have fresh legs in this one, quite honestly. We went back and forth. I'm going to tell you right now, we did just go back and forth all day long with this pick. Capella's out. That does free up the paint a little bit more, and the rebounding difference between these two teams gets a little bit closer. This one, we're going to rely, though, really on where the public's going and how the lines move. The game opened 1.5 to the Hawks and has really not moved, even though 2/3 of the tickets was on the Hawks. Having just seen that Hunter's also out, with our second play, we feel a little bit more confident we did take that side. But we're going to take the Indiana Pacers money line over the Hawks. We got it at plus 105. It might have dropped now that Hunter's out, but we did get it as plus money for our second leg of our 6-pack parlay. Justin, what's going on, man? You played the Hawks? All right, you played it when they were 115. Good luck. We're on the other side as you, but good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in and chatting. So that's our two NBA plays. Westbrook over 27.5 PRAs tonight. And we did take the Pacers on the money line. Now, I do want to switch gears tonight a little bit from the NBA and go to the ice where we have a few plays. First, let's start with a couple of player props. First player prop that we're going to look at is in the Colorado Avs Arizona Coyotes game at 9 p.m. Eastern. The Avs have been a major disappointment this season, or it would seem with the lack of goals that they have scored this season that they are a disappointment, but they're 19-11 on the season, and they're in third place in the Central, only 6 points clear of or behind Dallas there. This season, we see a new team emerging in Colorado as the Avs are only averaging 2.91 goals per game, and they're still winning thanks to goalie Alexander Georgiev there, who is 15-6, giving up 2.36 goals per game and has a .925 save percentage. Done a great job this season, and honestly, you can give all the credit to him. The Avs defense is top 10 in shots given up per game. They kill off less than 80% of their penalty kills. And if Georgiev could not continue to be as phenomenal as he has been with the Avs, then they're going to drop in the standings, and they might have to fight for a wild card spot as time goes on here. Now, one of the reasons, though, for the defense of the Avs being down is that defenseman Callum Maker, however you want to say it, tends to be a little offensive first before what they actually need him for is on defense. Listen, Maker has 29 points on the season, and it had to be fair to him, though, he is a much-needed skater on their top power play unit. In 7 of the last 8 games, Cal has put up over 4 shots on goal per game and is averaging nearly 28 minutes of ice time during that span. Now, the Coyotes, they give up the third most shots on goal per game at nearly 35, and the Avs coming off a nice little break here with fresh legs. We're going to take with our third leg of our 6-pack parlay, Cal Makar, however you say it. I'm sorry, I can't say it correctly. It doesn't matter because he's going to give us over 3.5 shots on goal for our third leg of our 6-pack parlay. Now, I do want to stay with the player props for one more in the NHL, and specifically shots on goal. We're going to look at another one here in the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames matchup in the 9 p.m. Eastern time slot. Listen, both of these teams, they again are going to be fighting for a postseason wild card spot as the season goes on. Calgary sit 1 point ahead of Edmonton in the last spot in the West, the wild card spot. But both teams have been mediocre here as of late, but they have a huge difference of playing style. The Oilers, they're number 1 in the NHL on the power play. They rely heavy hitters, on their heavy hitters on their team, McDavid, Draisaitl, etc., and their man advantage opportunities to put their opponents away. The Flames, on the other hand, they pepper the goal as much as possible and look for rebound opportunities, which would explain why the Calgary Flames are in the top 10 in shots per game, but they're barely averaging 3 goals on the year per game. On the season, though, it's been a great addition for the Flames to have Nazem Kadri, who plays on the second line and runs the first power play unit at center. Kadri, who averages less than 20 minutes ice time, still has put up 13 goals and 13 assists and averages 3.22 shots on goal per game. Now, these two teams, they have played each other twice this season in both games. Kadri has logged less than 16 minutes on the ice, as the Oilers, they don't take penalties. So Kadri loses that power play unit time on the ice. But with that said, Kadri still in both of those matchups under 16 minutes per game has put up 4.5 shots on goal against the Oilers. So Kadri is a great matchup against his Oilers, or against the Oilers' second line, who tend to go up and down the ice. So with our fourth play of our 6-pack parlay, we're going to take Nazem Kadri over 3.5 goals, which you can or 3.5 shots, which you can actually find at plus money. Now, before we finish off our parlay here with a bowl game, I do have one more in the NHL in this parlay, and it's going to be a full game bet in the Dallas Stars and the Nashville Predators matchup. Now, Dallas, they've been playing some great hockey this season. They have the second best record in the West, and they have the best goal differential in the Western Conference. They're top 5 in goals per game. They are top 5 in power play. They are top 5 in penalty kill. And they only give up 2.77 goals against per game, and that's thanks to the netminder, Jake Ottinger. Ottinger, 14-5. He has a 2.45 goal against average with a .919 save percentage. And the only game that he played against the Predators, he only gave up 1 goal. That was the first goal or game of the season, actually, for the Dallas Stars. So it was kind of a long ways back. But speaking of the Predators, they have not been great in the last couple of weeks. They are only 3-4-3 in their last 10. They are home tonight against against the Stars with Saros in goal. They do have a hard matchup here, you would think, especially against the number 1 team there in the Central Division. Saros has had signs, quite honestly, on the season of being an elite goaltender. This guy has posted good numbers, 2.81 goal against average, but he is 11-9 on the season, and you have to ask yourself, why the hell is he only 11-9 with those numbers that he puts up? Well, a lot of that could be attributed to the Nashville Predators having the 3rd worst scoring average in the league at just 2.5 goals per game. Last time out against the Stars, Saros gave up 4 goals in that route in the first game of the season. And tonight, we can just see the Predators maybe putting up a fighting chance here at home. But on top of everything else, going against Nashville in this one, they are also top 10 in the league in giving up penalty opportunities. So in our 5th play of our 6-pack parlay, we're going to take what I think is going to be an easy victory at a lower juice than what I would have thought price at -130. The Dallas Stars on the money line here. So that is the first 5 plays of our 6-pack parlay. Thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate everybody that's come in. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. If you want us to give our opinion on any leans for tonight or anything that you might have been going back and forth, please let us know in the chat. We'll try to get to those here right after our last pick of our parlay. So I did kind of allude to it. I do want to look at a bowl game, and we're going to go away from this evening, though. There's a couple bowl games tonight on TV that I think are going to be good, especially OK State and Wisconsin. I think that matchup on the late night is going to be fun to watch. But we're going to look at tomorrow in the afternoon, Arkansas, Kansas in the Liberty Bowl here. Kansas has had a great season, but honestly, they're kind of limping into this bowl game. They've lost 3 straight, and they weren't even close games. Arkansas also kind of limped in, losing their last 2 of the season, probably kicking themselves with that loss to Missouri in the final week of the season. They probably should have won that one. Might have got them a better bowl game than the Liberty. Both teams, though, they have relied on their offense carrying them this season, putting up both combined over 65 points per game, and their defenses are not great at all. Listen, Kansas in particular gives up 36 points per game, but the good news for them is that a lot of Arkansas players have already entered the transfer portal, and a few NFL prospects are sitting this one out, including Drew Sanders, Bumper Pool, Jaden Hazelwood, and Ricky Stromberg. The motivation, honestly, in the Liberty Bowl game should be Kansas not having played in a bowl game since 2006. They should be the ones motivated here. But with that said, we honestly think that the Razorbacks have the better team on the field, even with those players missing. Jefferson, he's a better quarterback, and Raheem Sanders at running back has helped this team average 223 yards per game, which is ranked top 10 in the nation. Now, this might be a different squad that Arkansas is going to put out there in the Liberty Bowl, but if Kansas cannot stop the rush, then they are going to lose this game. They're 0-5 when they give up 230 rushing yards on the season, and we think that although the motivation should be there for the Jayhawks, we think that this team, who hasn't been to a bowl game in forever, might just be reaching the bowl game is enough for them, and especially for those on the sideline who have never seen a bowl game before. So we kind of think maybe they do have motivation to get there. I'm not sure they have the motivation to win this game, and their defense is going to have to be stellar against the Arkansas rush game. So with our last play of our six-pack parlay, we are going to take Arkansas -2.5 over Kansas, and that is our six-pack parlay. Al, I do see you have a question there. Notre Dame, Jacksonville, you're leaning over. I will be honest with you in this one, and I know I don't do it. I know I preach that I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't do it. I didn't look at the over. When I handicapped it, I had it very close. I think I had it like 0.5 points over, something at like 130, something like that. So I would say I like that. You know what I took you know what I actually did? I think I did take it personally myself, not on member play. I did throw a little bit of coin on Notre Dame in this one. And here's the thing, Justin, I know, and listen, Jacksonville, the public is, and the money's all over Jacksonville. And we can't cover, and I'm saying we as in Notre Dame, haven't been able to cover against lower opponents, and we've looked pretty bad all year with the exception of the Michigan State game. We don't look like a team that has any flow. Now, with that said, and I want to get this right, so let me look it up because I want to look at their basketball schedule. They have not played since the 21st. So they've had 6 days off, right? They've had 6 days off. I took Notre Dame, not because I think they're an extremely better team. And I know Jacksonville's had 7 days off as well. But I think in that time off, I think that we have figured out who we want to be, because if we have not figured out who we want to be as a basketball team, then when we go into conference play here, starting with Miami on Friday, and I know we've had a game in conference play against Syracuse, which we lost, which was awful, by the way. Was it Syracuse? I think it was Syracuse. We played one. Anyways, if we go into conference play and we don't know who we are, there is just no way in hell that we're going to have any chance of even being in the middle of the standings in the ACC. So I did take Notre Dame -8 here because I think we could pull this one out. And I think our shooters with 6 days off, 7 days off, here's the difference, in my opinion, with Notre Dame kids and Jacksonville kids. Notre Dame kids, they're not out partying over Christmas break. They're in the Joy Center there. They're shooting hoops still. Some of them stay on campus. They got practice. Jacksonville's down there in Florida doing God knows what those Floridians do down there. I'm telling you right now, I know the money's coming in on Jacksonville. I know it's -8. That's a lot of points with a team that hasn't proven themselves, but I kind of like them tonight. And that's 100% biased. I would definitely not a official play there from us. But yeah, Al, I hope we can pull it off. I really hope we come into our own, because from what they've shown me, with the exception of the Michigan State game, which I think was a fluke. I mean, they shot like 60% in the first half of that one and like 65 from three-point range. I think this is going to be a team that we're going to have to struggle to watch their games this year. But, good luck to you, Justin, on Jacksonville. You're against us in a couple. And to be honest with you, yeah, I'd rather have you win than me, especially on the Notre Dame one, because I deserve betting Notre Dame -8, my own team, to lose that one. But listen, guys, if there's no more questions, that is it for our six-pack parlay. Again, don't rely on this parlay. It's mainly for entertainment purposes. If you are going to bet these games, please do it straight. Just bet them each as single bets. The parlay, if you are going to bet it, don't do more than a quarter of a unit. That's really what you should be doing as a recreational bettor. Again, before we sign off, though, I do want to tell you our whole six-pack parlay one more time. We have Russell Westbrook over 27.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. Indiana Pacers money line. Cal Maker, I don't know. Makar over 3.5 shots on goal. Nazem Kadri. Why can I say Nazem Kadri, but I can't say Cal Maker? I don't know. It's just because I haven't said his name that much. Nazem Kadri over 3.5 shots on goal. Dallas Stars on the money line over the Predators, and Arkansas -2.5 is actually what it is now over Kansas tomorrow in the Liberty Bowl. If you parlay all of those together, guys, you're going to get about plus 5020, which means a $10 bet would return about $502. Listen, guys, we hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you next Tuesday with another six-pack parlay. Have a great New Year's. Don't forget, we are going to be live on Thursday with Thursday Night Football. But the next time 2 goals, 1 puck is going to see you again is going to be in 2023. Do everything safe on New Year's Eve. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.